Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving straight into a massive, high-stakes crucible facing the Indian national cricket team. We're talking about the upcoming Sri Lanka Test Series. You know, it's a tour that's literally going to test the absolute limits of this squad's physical endurance, their tactical brilliance, and honestly, just their sheer willpower.
Right out of the gate, we've got to ask the defining question of this entire series. How exactly does a team prepare for a crucial, must-win Test series when half of their biggest stars are completely sidelined? It's like a giant puzzle that the coaching staff is desperately trying to solve in real time. And today, we're going to break down exactly how they're attempting to do it using the data and the reports we have right now.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the Colombo warm-up, India's injury crisis, fast bowler workload risks, conquering the spin trap, and preparing for Galle.
Let's start with Section 1, the Colombo warm-up, a reality check. So, this match was supposed to be just a practice run, right? Well, it quickly turned into a very real test. The hosts won the toss, opted to bat first, and man, they immediately put India on the back foot. Sri Lanka Cricket XI ended day one at 363 for 8. The opening session was entirely dominated by the hosts. We saw Nishan Madushka score 66 and Ravindu Rasanta hit 71. They put up a massive 100-run opening stand against the new ball, which kind of left the Indian pace attack looking a bit toothless early on. It was an absolute immediate wake-up call.
But here's where the story completely shifts, and it brilliantly shows just how much India is going to have to rely on their slower bowlers. Post-lunch, the spin trio methodically dragged their team right back into the game. We saw Manav Suthar taking 2 for 33 with some incredible flight and dip. Ravindra Jadeja applied his trademark skidding pressure to take 2 for 64, and Kuldeep Yadav chipped in with 2 wickets of his own for 76. They took absolute control when the fast bowlers just couldn't find a breakthrough.
Moving on to Section 2. India's injury crisis, the medical tent.
You know, the sudden cascading complications mounting for this squad are genuinely staggering. I mean, the bad news started before the tour even officially got underway. During a practice session on Thursday, newly appointed captain Shubman Gill sustained an impact injury to his right ring finger. The BCCI medical team actually had to pull him from fielding duties in the warm-up game as a precautionary measure, and that forced KL Rahul to immediately step up and take the reins.
But honestly, Gill's finger, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The list of missing stars is absolutely massive. Ace seamer Jasprit Bumrah is still recovering from a knee injury. Washington Sundar and Harshit Rana are both out with hamstring issues. Nitish Kumar Reddy has a quad injury, and Akashdeep is dealing with stress reactions in his back. This massive injury list is forcing the selectors to scramble, bringing in replacement players like Aqib Napi just to field a competitive squad. Let's look at Section 3, Fast Bowler Workload Risks, the science.
To really understand why this immense physical toll is happening right now, we have to look at the sports science. Research shows a perfect storm for these athletes. A report from Semantic Scholar points out that Indian fast bowlers face some very distinct contextual demands. They're bowling on unforgiving, flat subcontinental pitches, and they're doing it across incredibly congested competition schedules. This is heavily exacerbated by high-intensity tournaments like the Indian Premier League. The physical burden on these guys is just immense.
And here's the real kicker. Workload quantification methods currently lack standardization. Basically, the relationship between the incredible physical stress these Indian fast bowlers face and their specific injury patterns, it remains poorly understood by sports science. Because teams literally can't accurately track and standardize all that wear and tear, preventing these cascading injuries becomes highly difficult, if not completely impossible.
Which brings us to Section 4, Conquering the Spin Trap, the Tactical Mandate.
Now, this depleted bowling attack puts an immense amount of pressure on the batters, which leads us right into the strategic hurdles waiting for them. India is carrying some heavy historical baggage into this series. In the last 2 years, this transitioning test batting unit has conceded some stinging, landmark defeats at home. I'm talking about a 3-0 surrender to New Zealand and a 2-0 drubbing against South Africa, which entirely exposed their deep struggles against spin bowling on turning surfaces. They were basically caught in a trap, and the coaching staff knows for sure they cannot afford a repeat in Sri Lanka.
So this historical struggle has led to a brand new strategy. Head coach Gautam Gambhir has issued a very explicit tactical mandate to his batters to counter the turning ball, and the instructions are clear and aggressive. Number 1, you absolutely must sweep the left arm spin. Number 2, you've got to use your feet and step out to the off-spin. There is no more sitting back in the crease. They are being explicitly told to actively dismantle the spinners before the spinners dismantles them.
Finally, Section 5. Preparing for Galle, the battlefield.
With the tactics set, the environmental battlefield for the first test, starting on August 15th, is shaping up to be incredibly grueling. I mean, according to AccuWeather data, the average high temperature for August in Galle sits at a sweltering 88 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's coupled with some notorious humidity. Just imagine the physical toll this is going to take on an already depleted, heavily rotated squad. They aren't just fighting the Sri Lankan team, they're literally fighting the elements.
So why does all of this matter so much right now? Well, because India is currently sitting in 5th place in the World Test Championship cycle. They're holding a 48.15 points percentage with 4 wins and 4 losses across 9 matches. Every single point on this Sri Lankan tour is absolutely vital if India wants to keep their hopes of reaching another WTC final alive. There is zero margin for error here.
To secure those crucial points, this is the predicted top order tasked with facing the crucible. We've got the incredible rise of Yashasvi Jaiswal, boasting 2,535 runs at an average approaching 50. Beside him, the steady reliance on KL Rahul with over 4,150 test runs. And slotting in at number 3, we have the calm temperament of Devdutt Padakal, who is chosen specifically for his ability to play spin with absolute confidence.
Which leaves us with one final burning question to chew on. Will Coach Gambhir's aggressive new spin mandate, executed by a squad relying heavily on backups, be enough to overcome the heat, the injuries, and the Sri Lankan spin attack to keep India's WTC final dreams alive? It is absolutely going to be a fascinating series to watch unfold. Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.
Welcome.